Definitive juxtaposition?
Hi, I'd like to thank you all for coming. My name is Neil Haidorfer, and today I'm presenting my capstone titled Definitive Juxtaposition, an Interdisciplinary Analysis of the Impact of Community Gardening. I'd like to first start off with my acknowledgments. I'd like to thank my first capstone advisor, Mr. Michael Nolan, UMBC adjunct professor, as well as the deputy director of the Hilltop Institute, in addition to my other capstone advisor, Ms. Joyce Smith, head of the Operation Reach Out Southwest Community Garden, in which I did the majority of my research, as well as my IMBS faculty advisor, Ms. Carrie Sauter. This is Ms. Eunice Ross. Ms. Eunice Ross was born in El Dorado, Arkansas on November 7, 1931. She moved to the city of Baltimore in 1959 and has lived in the Franklin Square neighborhood for the last 20 years. Ms. Eunice Ross was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and hypertension, two common diseases in her community. However, Ms. Ross has been able to come off some of the medication prescribed by her doctor, namely metformin, which is used to control glucose levels in diabetics. She's been able to access healthy foods and change her eating habits. She's acquired this access from her local community garden and the education that came with the knowledge of meeting people in her community garden. I introduced with a story because it shows a clear and definitive impact that community gardening has had on the lives of individuals and community. The question I wanted to address for my capstone is, what is the value of community gardening in a low-income neighborhood? When I talk about community gardening, I'm simply referring to a shared piece of land in which individuals from the community utilize to grow crops and as well as flowers. The community garden I chose to look at is the Operation Reach Out Southwest Community Garden located in Franklin Square. As you can see, Franklin Square lies roughly 8 to 10 blocks from the Inner Harbor in downtown Baltimore. It's on the west side of the city, and as traditionally, as a Baltimore neighborhood, is traditionally a very strong neighborhood with a strong community association, and is actually recognized as one of the more stable neighborhoods in the city. However, it is still considered a low-income neighborhood. Low-income neighborhood is defined as them having the majority of residents live at 200% or below of federal poverty level. In the year 2000, the federal poverty level was set at approximately $17,000. The median income of the Franklin Square neighborhood per household is approximately $19,000. As such, this is well below that 200% level. Additionally, 33% of the individuals in Franklin Square are living in poverty which is 100% or below the federal poverty line. The disciplinary perspectives I chose to use for this project were that of public health and sociology. Within the discipline of public health, I drew on the concept of food deserts. Food deserts are geographical areas in which individuals living in that community do not have access to healthy or nutritious foods. Franklin Square is considered a food desert. In the field of sociology, I drew from the theories of social isolation presented by William Julius Wilson in his book, The Truly Disadvantaged. This theory suggests that individuals in the community have been significantly removed from the mainstream values of society. Furthermore, I've drawn the broken window theory presented by George Keeling and James Wilson in their article, Broken Windows. Broken window theory argues that disorder perpetuates further disorder, and once a sense of civic obligation has been lost in a community, it leads to an urban decay. The methodologies I used for my research were that of a literary analysis in which I looked at books, journal articles, online sources, etc., all relating to community garden, as well as health and nutrition. In addition, and what I believe to be the most valuable part of my research is the ethnography I did. I was able to receive IRB approval to interview members of the Franklin Square community that were involved in community gardening. I asked them roughly 25 questions pertaining to their health, eating habits, as well as their perceptions of the community. I left a lot of these questions open-ended because I felt that they could take the interview in whatever direction that the residents felt necessary. The bridging strategies I drew for my capstone project were that of Miller and Boyks-Mencia. I chose complex and multi-causal explanations because I felt it best addressed the issues of poverty. Looking at poverty, it's important to account for many different factors. Public health and sociology are two, as well as economics and anthropology, and a host of different others, which I did not focus on but did look at. Additionally, I used the compound concepts bridging strategy. I created the theory of nutritional isolation, which is an extension of Wilson's social isolation theory. Nutritional isolation would suggest that individuals living in a specific community have been significantly removed from the, nutritional information or understanding of healthy foods within mainstream society. From my research, I was able to glean that community gardening has largely an impact that falls into three major categories. Primarily, it can affect health, as we've seen in Ms. Eunice Ross. It can improve access to healthy foods, and therefore change what individuals are capable or have access to eating. In addition, it also provides individuals with access to nutritious information, not only through literature that can be provided by individuals working in the garden, but also the knowledge that individuals working in the garden possess themselves about food. Additionally, community gardens possess the ability to generate social capital. Generation of social capital is instrumental in ending the social isolation that Wilson argues for in his book. Generating social capital can be the result of interactions between gardeners or interactions of gardeners and just residents who are not involved. Passerbys in the street, people driving by, people walking through the garden. Any of those people stopping to inquire about the garden will learn and create a sense of community and which is necessary to end the social isolation that has existed in this neighborhood. Additionally, improving the physical environment helps perpetuate a sense of civic obligation, which is necessary in reversing the conditions we've seen argued by the broken window theory. Just as disorder perpetuates disorder, order therefore perpetuates order, and instilling a sense of civic obligation will increase the physical aesthetics of the community. Additionally, there's a psychological benefit to having green space in the urban environment, as well as a reduction in crime, which has arguably been seen in the Franklin Square area. Extension and value. I think if this project has any value outside of that of the classroom, I think that it's to call local attention to this topic. The Orswell Garden in Franklin Square is just now stepping up its production to become an urban agricultural program, which means it's going to produce more food and therefore impact more lives. Additionally, there's local greening movements and as well as the schoolyard greening movement that's happened throughout the city of Baltimore. This is all based on, these slow food movements and increasing food education, which again will help to improve the health of the city as a whole. There are a number of limitations with this research, specifically time. I would like to have interviewed more individuals, specifically individuals who are not involved in the garden. I would like to have interviewed people who are not involved because I felt that it would be useful to get their perspective on how it impacted their life, if at all. Furthermore, there's an absence of statistical data regarding the impact of community gardens. In some ways, I think that this literature is kind of new in regards to the slow food movement and how it's happening in this century, and I should say in this decade more so. But the literature is largely absent because when looking at the impact of community gardening on an impoverished community, it's difficult to measure all the variables at one time. And because poverty is such a complex issue and there's such a large number of variables go into individuals' health, that doing this on a massive scale will require a tremendous amount of resource and a very specific environment in which you can limit the variables. It would also take a tremendous amount of time. That is the conclusion of my presentation. And I can leave you with the fact that I firmly believe that community gardens have an interdisciplinary impact on low-income communities. Thank you, and I'll open it up for questions.
Well, first of all, your beautiful slides. I was told I would like them, and I do. I wonder if you had a chance to look at the work in Berkeley that was done maybe
Alice Waters?
20, Alice, yes.
Yeah.
And whether or not, let me just finish, whether or not that she's written a couple books, and I know that students at Berkeley, the University of California, Berkeley, have done some kind of research, and I wondered if you looked into that at all.
I actually was looking at that in another class in which we were doing work on schoolyard greening specifically. Mm-hmm. A lot of her work is, granted she did kind of work in a low-income community, but I think they had more resources provided to her because it was through school and it was only targeting children. And I think here one of the issues is looking at like like I guess the older community and changing the eating like